Okay, let's try this one more time. Good afternoon. Yeah, let's pretend you just had lunch. One more time. Good afternoon. All right, welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for deciding being here, sharing this knowledge with us, and sharing some insights with us. And I think today's topic is one of my favorite topics because it's what really is going on and what the opportunity we have in our hands to do slightly better in a near future. So today I will share insights into what's going on and what we think is the next on this fascinating analytics journey. And it is a fascinating analytics journey. I mean, let's think about the last 20 years when we started digitalizing all of those processes and consuming all of this data and structure and unstructured and now generative AI. And isn't this an exciting chapter in humanity? Give me a yes at least. Yes! All right. So today we're going to talk about what we think is going on, but not only what we think is going on right now, but even more importantly, what we think is going to shift and where is going to be your opportunity to actually optimize what we have going on in this everyday AI chapter. So for that, I'm going to invite you to bear with me during this visualization. And everybody here is going to kind of start recognizing some of what is going on for you, for your journey, for your peers, for your company. And I'm going to invite you to think about this visualization in the following way. The horizontal axis is going to represent all the spending that you have going on in terms of AI. So what are you investing on? Are you investing on upscaling your people? Are you investing on infrastructure, cloud costs, generative AI tokens, consultants? All of that is going to be part of that horizontal axis. And then the y-axis is going to represent the actual, so what are you doing with it? Are you actually generating some value out of it? So if we are all sitting here, right now, it's because we know this is happening. We know the last 20 years have been very important. But we also know that we are equally empowered by this technology. So a lot of you, randomly, are going to identify with the blue line. And a lot of you, randomly, are going to identify with the green line. So what that means is that, yes, we are generating lots of spending, but at the same time, we do have lots of new efficiencies. We are automating more of these processes. We are able to generate some of this value and to tie that to the actual use case that, oh, yeah, predictive works, and this is kind of cool, and so on. But at the same time, there is not enough gap between the blue line and the green line. How are we gonna be better than everybody else in this room? What is the meaning of being able to bring your secret sauce and differentiate yourself from what everybody else here is doing? And that is gonna be your beloved competitor, right? We are all competing for something. We wanna be faster, better. We wanna ensure that we accelerate that time to value. So I'm going to invite you to think about changing that function. What needs to happen for you to grow differently and to increase that gap that if we think about blue line, green line, yes, we are all learning how to do this. We are all learning on generative AI and experimenting on these predictive use cases and tying them to value somehow. But at the end, we want to be better. We want to gain more value faster. We want to accelerate that time to value. How are we going to get out of that and become the blue line? How are you going to become the blue line? What is the opportunity that you have today in the market to maximize that AI gap that you see there? And now, every time that I do this, I'm going to be referring to this slide, OK? So everybody have a picture right now, mental picture? Everybody there? OK, so this is the maximization that we are talking about. How are we going to maximize that opportunity that is going to make me better than my beloved competitor in the market. So I'm going to invite you to do an exercise with me. We're going to have a flashback. Everybody ready? Raise your hand if you, sometime in your life, past, 30 years? If you went to Blockbuster to rent a video. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Now, another flashback. Raise your hand if you ever received an envelope from Netflix, the red envelope that got to your mailbox. Okay. So everybody here knows the two companies I'm going to be referring to. And I'm going to use this as an example. What was the difference between these two? So what happened with innovation success example? Let's think about Netflix. And what happened at that time when the internet starts there, and this company not only shifted, but also, I mean, they changed completely the way that they were delivering those videos. What happened? Streaming happened, and they fully embraced the internet and the internet era and pivoted from the way that they were doing it before and embraced that technology and were able to not only stream and become who they are today, but also every opportunity they had, they were collecting data to personalize recommendations, to optimize the content, to the viewer retention, to all of those use cases that we do know generate value. On the other hand, what happened with the green line here? Let's think about that Blockbuster and the lack of innovation and how they failed to adapt to that changing landscape. So it was not quick enough. It was not fast enough. So what happened? They are no longer there, all right? So today we're going to focus on what needs to happen for you to be the blue line. What is going to be different about what you bring to the table that is going to allow you to run that differentiator and to be the blue line and to maximize that AI gap that we just mentioned. All right. So let's zoom out and let's think about what's going on today. Today, I am a field chief data officer. I talk to many of you or your peers across verticals, and we talk about different use cases and the way that the business analyst is actually interacting with your teams to get something out of these use cases. And the one thing that is very common across everybody here is that still a little bit of friction. There is still a little bit of delay getting my data or my insights back. There is still a little bit of what we call the last mile, which is not quite there. Why? Well, guess what happened over a year ago when OpenAI released the ChatGPTs of the world? A lot changed because now the public, the general public, has access to this technology, to the everyday AI without even thinking about that they are using AI. They are just asking in a very natural language way a bot to produce insights into this data. So we have a leading AI adopters generation that is fully empowered by these technologies. The technology is there. Generative AI is there. LLMs are there. What are we going to do to be the blue line? What are we going to do to maximize that gap opportunity and to fully embrace what we can do in the enterprise? So if we think about the concept that is emerging in the field, and that is an AI agent. Raise your hand if you heard the term AI agent before. Okay, so you see, it's going on in the field right now. So what is the meaning of that, and what I can do with it, or what it means for me, or the way that we do things in our enterprise? So I'm going to represent that with a visualization. What is going on here, right now, is an example of how things are happening in the field and how we still see that friction. Where is the friction coming on? There is not instant access to that knowledge. There is not instant access to all of that structured and unstructured data that is important for your company, that is important for your use cases. So what we think or what we see the field moving into or pivoting to is that architecture where perhaps that business person, and business person is whoever is interrogating this data for A or B or C, but they are doing it already outside the enterprise. What are they doing? ChatGPT is instant knowledge to all of this, so they are already used to interact with an AI system in this instant way. Okay, can we do the same for the enterprise? Can we do the same for all the structured and unstructured data that we have as part of those use cases that we do know generate value, that we do know are actually driving more micro-automation jobs? Look at all the terms that I are bringing right here, right now, because this is going to become more important by the minute. So what is this agent doing, and how we can actually correlate this with a more tangible example? Let's think about sales forecasting. All right, I see some smiley faces in the room. I see some people saying, I don't care about sales forecasting, I don't care. But at the end, it's okay. What needs to happen for a sales forecasting example to be successful? Think about who is involved and what are their different responsibilities for that use case to be successful. So let's think about it. Okay, I'm going to connect to my CRM and some other third parties, and I need to ensure the pipeline is as healthy as it can be, and I need to correlate this information with the field and the account reps and all of that. So let's have an example of what an AI agent could look for a team that is trying to do sales forecasting. So we have different components of that use case, and one of the components is to ensure that the pipeline is as healthy as it can be. Well, let me invite you to this thought right here, right now. What if we can have instant access to that structured and unstructured data that are part of that flow and that are important for that use case to be successful? What if we can have an AI agent to help us out to accelerate this process and have instant access to all this super valuable information? Well, that is exactly what we are targeting here. And you will say, well, yeah, that's not so easy. Well, no, it's not that easy, but all the pieces are there. Every single block that needs to exist for this to be successful is there. So how this AI agent looks like behind the scenes? Well, behind the scenes is more like this, where you have that business user that is asking the question. My question is, hey, I need help with the pipeline health, and I need you to give me answer A, B, and C. Perfect. I got it. I am the AI agent that is pretty much orchestrating all of these blocks and making that a reality. Okay, but back to our second slide when I told you that AI differentiator gap. What is going to make you different from everybody else here? What is going to make you be the blue line instead of the green line? How do you bring your secret sauce to this use case and to that AI agent? Well, if you think about it, every component here has the opportunity for you to bring your secret sauce and to be better than your beloved competitor. So what you are seeing here is opportunity to bring your differentiator. Every time that you think about the behind the scenes of these AI agents, you are going to have the opportunity to say, you know what? I'm going to fine-tune that LLM. Or I'm going to self-host this LLM that is very domain-specific, based on my unstructured data, based on my enterprise use case. Or you know what? I don't even need to pay for an LLM when I have an open source LLM that can help me with my software engineer team and produce these scripts way faster. Or, you know what? I'm going to do my secret sauce here, 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 and here, and ensure that that gap is as big as it can be. That's my secret sauce. That's what I am bringing to the table that is going to give me that differentiator advantage. You are going to be the blue line and not the green line. So if we think about that sales performance use case, and hopefully everybody can relate to at least one use case in the screen right here, right now. This is generally speaking, let's think about a pharma company. And we do have multiple business thinking about different use cases. Sales and marketing, sales performance, let's have that as an example. So we had our AI agent helping with the pipeline health for that specific use case. So if we zoom in within each of these boxes, we may find out that there is a lot of opportunity for AI agents to produce that specific outcome that they were created for. And if we think again, pipeline health agent, well, it's part of a white box. And at the end, it's interacting with other blue boxes, meaning you do have the opportunity to micro-automate a lot of things that are behind the scenes, each of these use cases. This is an aha moment when everybody is imagining not only the white box, but all the blue boxes that are behind the scenes, and most importantly, what can you do differently? Where is your secret sauce to become the blue line and not the green line? So what are your options? What are your options? Well, you can easily say, I'm going to hire a complete fleet of software engineers that is going to be building all of this from scratch and training all of these LLMs from scratch. Good luck. On the other hand, you can grab all of these AI agents from the shelf. AI agent from the shelf, for me and from my beloved competitor. What's going to miss that? Your secret sauce, your know-how, your ingredient that is coming from your SMEs, and the value that they bring to the table to maximize that differentiator gap. And that is the opportunity that you have today, right here, right now. What is it that you are going to bring to the table to ensure that that gap is as big as possible, and that you are in the driver's seat for that blue line to go as high as possible, accelerating the time to value. Now, if we go back to this slide and think about everybody here, within these white boxes, what is the one thing that they have in common? I can pick randomly use cases for all the teams under each of these business units. And the one common thing is that all of them are going to have micro-automation jobs that are going to make their life easier. You are going to empower your SME to fully embrace the technology that is available today, because it is out there. And it is a reality that our workforce is now fully empowered to use a chatbot-like UX, where the questions that they are asking is in natural language, is organic. So this is happening. And the reality of it as well is that at the end, you will have to orchestrate the whole thing. So we still have to have some kind of governance. We still need to have some kind of security layer, yeah, for sure. But are you ready to pivot? Are you ready to change and to really embrace the opportunities that you have today? How are you going to become that blue line? Everybody with me? Are you ready to become the blue line? Everybody's thinking, oh, I need to change a lot of things here to become the blue line. Well, do not be afraid. Change can be extremely positive, and you have the opportunity right here, right now, to embrace the technology that we have available, because it changed the way that we do things. We are in the everyday AI chapter, and the quicker we pivot, the higher the probability to become that blue line. So that is how you are going to avoid the AI trap, and that is by building this differentiated AI. And this is how we are going to close this first session of the day. Thank you very much, everybody.